Hey, what's good? I want to talk about risk and reward quickly, and I want to talk about the power of the trail stop. Um, and in this case, I'm not actually talking about trail stop on a single trade. I'm talking about trail stopping your day, your trading day, or trail stopping your trading week if you have a lower frequency. Like if if you say on this week I'm going to risk $5,000, right? In total. That doesn't mean on one trade, but the system that you're running is all right, 5 grand. Based on the evidence, it looks like I shouldn't trade anything past 5 grand. So what you do is you have that, and what you end up getting is something like this, where I want you to see this P&L list on the left-hand side. I'm going to zoom out. You don't need to read it. You just need to look at it. It's 4 grand, 5 grand max loss. But on the right-hand side, when it gets positive, you can see that it inflates. It inflates. It inflates. You can get 10 grand profit, 11 grand profit, 9, 8, which is past your max loss. So it's a way of getting it's a way of getting it's a way of cutting your losses and letting your winners run. However, what's so funny about this situation is that I'm doing the opposite in these trades. I know that's one layer underneath, but I'm just saying, if you trail your stop on the campaign, whether it's a week or a day, for me it's a day because I have a higher frequency of trades. So I trail my stop on the day, and you're going to end up getting a right skewing histogram of your rewards on the day. So these are your daily settlement, daily closes of your profit and loss. On the left here is 5 grand. It's max capped at 5 grand, but 5 grand right here is right here. It's 5 grand if you see my mouse. So it's right skewing, which means you can have outliers on the right hand side, which means you can have max big profit days because you trail your stop, because you allow it to run. You allow your system to keep running. Now, you can do the same thing. You'll get the same results in your trading if you trail your stop and let your winners run like that and never have a target. But you don't have to do it that way. That's just a system to do it. But in my opinion, it is a great way of doing your days or your weeks. It's a great way of kind of compartmentalizing your risk. You know you're not going to lose more than 5 grand in the day or whatever it is per your risk. That's maximum, and I that's a really good thing to know and have. But then you end up getting some outliers to the upside. And then what I wanted to say is that it's so funny because the system that I have here today, this is real data from a system, a back test. But these are the results of a mean reversion system, which literally adds to your loser and trails your target. And in almost the opposite, where we have small victories, where our victories are capped, our wins are capped. Our wins are capped at $300, yet we're risking $2,100. So it's a 1-7 risk reward, or reward risk. So, I mean, this is kind of the opposite, where I trail my target. So I'm kind of doing the opposite. This is my day. Yes, I set up my days in a trail stop method, so I get small risk and big returns. But I set up each and every trade opposite. I set up the trades where the trade itself is a double down on losing trade and trailing your target and trying to get away with it. And that's literally what the system is. And it wins a vast majority of the time because the market does go sideways. A lot of times it goes sideways. That's what I'm doing right now, currently. If you look at this, it's going on right now. It just goes back and forth enough to profit. Just goes back and forth just barely enough. It still moves, but it goes back and forth enough to make money doing that. And obviously we'll have a bigger loss if we do end up losing, but our win rate is great. So yeah, I just want to show you that that it's just funny to me that literally it's kind of weird. I'm using that risk reward to get that open-ended right skewing histogram of my risk rewards. That's what I want. I want bigger profits to I want a capped loss. I like that. So I'm implementing that. Overall, I'm running my mean reversion campaign with a trending type of daily cap. So it's a little strange, and that's why I'm bringing it up. It's kind of interesting, but I still like it because at the end of the day, your risk is maximum $5,000. Your reward, it has no maximum. It keeps on going endlessly, even though our reward on the trade ends at $300 positive. We just collect many, many, many wins, many, many, many little wins over and over again. And we build that baseline and we just trail our stop on the day, and then we get cut off. All right, fine. It's still pretty good results. Yeah, the majority of the days are smaller, between -$1,000 and +$1,000, but you get these big days like 10 grand days that just go sideways all day. You make gobs of money and you don't have a cap at that. You don't have a capacity. Just imagine trending. I've gotten torn apart in trends before where I've lost $10,000 real money trying to trail my stop and add to my winners on a mean reversion day. It destroyed me, bro. It destroyed me. And that's exactly what these days are. It eats and eats and eats when it goes sideways. And then when it doesn't go sideways, all right, we lose. Fine. But a lot of times it does go sideways and you can collect money. And that's the idea. So excellent system. I just wanted to share that right skewing risk reward is probably the answer. I don't have it on the exact trades, but I do have it on the day. And I like that idea. It's just, in my opinion, smart. I don't know. Could you go the other way? Maximum loss? Like, you better hope that you're just collecting small wins then, because you get an outlier loss day. It's brutal. So I wouldn't have it the other way. I like it this way, where if random things happen, which we know the market randomly does, some random shit sometimes, we're going to be rewarded heavily if that happens. Instead, if it does some random shit against us, we cut it off. It's over, bro. It's over. Like, we already know our max loss. And that is what's important. So, all right. Peace. That's all I really had. All right, mate. Have a good one.